Rain tapped gently against the diner window, blurring the neon sign that flickered, Maggie's, open late. Inside, the air smelled of burnt coffee and warm pie crust. Emily slipped into a back booth, shoulders hunched, eyes red-rimmed. She wasn't running from a man, or a debt, or even the cold. She was running from hope itself. At the counter sat Michael Carter, sleeves rolled up, half-eaten meatloaf cooling in front of him. His suit was rumpled, his eyes tired. He hadn't noticed her come in, not until the silence changed. Because clinging to Emily's leg, barefoot, in mismatched socks and an oversized sweater, was a little girl, 5 years old. Tiny, pale, silent. And she wasn't looking at the jukebox or the pie display. She was staring straight at his plate, not with hunger, but with wonder, a kind of soft amazement, as if seeing a full meal was something out of a fairy tale. Michael followed her eyes. The meatloaf, the mashed potatoes, the neat little row of green beans. And in that moment, something inside him pulled tight. Emily whispered, embarrassed, "Lily, sweetheart, don't stare. We're leaving soon." But Lily didn't move. Her eyes stayed on the food, on the crumbs, on the fullness of it. Michael swallowed hard. Without thinking, he slid the plate closer. "You too hungry?" His voice was rough but kind. Emily shook her head quickly. No, we're fine." But Lily looked up and whispered, "Mama, he has green beans, like the ones in my book." Emily froze, because that book, The Garden That Grew Kindness, was Lily's treasure. The book they read every night, even when their stomachs growled louder than the words. Michael stood, walked to them, and placed the entire plate in front of the little girl. Then he went back to the counter, ordered 2 more meals, and brought them to the booth. Emily tried to refuse. "You don't have to." "I know," he said softly, "but I'd like to." As they ate, Emily talked. Not everything, just pieces. How she lost her job when the daycare closed, how the landlord changed the locks, how they'd been sleeping in her car for 3 nights, surviving on crackers and hope. Michael listened, not with pity, with recognition. Lily finished half her plate, then fell asleep on her mother's shoulder, tiny spoon still in hand. Michael reached into his coat, not for money, for a key. "There's a studio above my bookstore," he said quietly. "Rent's paid through next month. Electricity works. There's even a crib. My sister left it there years ago." Emily stared, trembling. "Why would you do this?" Michael looked down at his hands, the hands that once held a daughter of his own, lost too soon to a fever no medicine could touch. "Because once," he whispered, "I saw a hungry child stare at a full plate, and I walked away. I swore I'd never make that mistake again." The next morning, sunlight filled the dusty little studio. Lily twirled on the rug, watching her shadow dance, giggling, alive, bright. Emily stood in the doorway, not running anymore, not afraid. Downstairs, the bookstore bell chimed. Michael flipped a sign on the window. "Stories of Kindness, free to borrow." And on the counter, a worn copy of The Garden That Grew Kindness, with a note tucked inside. "For Lily, may your life be as full as that plate." Sometimes, kindness is small, quiet, almost invisible. But when it lands in the right heart, it can change everything. If this story touched you, you're not alone. Share it so someone out there knows that goodness is still real. Follow DLYN Stories, where kindness always wins.